manipulative. I mean, there is something to do with music and changing our spirits, and for real, sometimes you hear a song with the right chord progression. It happens in Christian settings, it happens in secular settings, rock and roll concerts. Hear me, rock and roll concerts, concerts with music. And when you feel something good, that music has been manipulated a little bit to affect your inmost being. It's kind of a good thing when music makes you feel good. But I don't like being manipulated, or to see folks being manipulated. Experiencing it or seeing it really irks me. It's another good word. It irks me. See, when Paul wrote to Philemon, I think he was being manipulative. He wanted Philemon to release Onesimus from his servitude. I also think he wanted to challenge Philemon to do more than simply do the right things in life. I also think he wanted Philemon to give some money to the cause. So today, we heard almost the whole chapter of Philemon, the whole book of Philemon. In it, Paul was very clever. He tried to drive home his agenda that way. He played on Onesimus's name, which means useful. Onesimus means useful. By calling him formerly useless and now useful. He played on Philemon's sense of fairness, too, by saying, I prefer to do nothing without your consent, and if he has wronged you in any way or owes you anything, charge that to my account. I say nothing about your owing me even your own self. So Paul masterfully manipulated this letter into one that seems to have no appropriate response from from Philemon, other than Onesimus' freedom and equality. And now you might be thinking, but freedom and equality, you talk about that all the time. What better cause could there be? And freedom from slavery, how could you find fault with a letter that calls for the release of a slave? Well, I think that we mistakenly interpret the letter into one that is anti-slavery. I don't think that it is. I think the letter is one that recognizes equality, but it also doesn't address the power one class has over another in the marketplace and in society. So I think we go beyond the message of the passage when we turn it into something it's not. That irks me. It irks Kirk. Paul didn't try to end slavery with this letter. And I know the slavery present in Paul's time was nothing like the horrific chapter of history in the United States where one group of people terrorized, stole, took rights away from, exploited, raped, tortured, and killed people because they thought that their skin color made them less than. Onesimus probably became a slave to Philemon over a debt, or maybe he was an apprentice. He may or may not have been treated well. He would not have been rounded up from his home and transported on a ship where half the inhabitants died only to be sold at an auction. But still, he was a slave, and he was a slave in a society where slavery, still very different from what was present in the United States before, and in some ways still is, it was just different. And I don't think that this letter should be used to support slavery, as it has been used in the past, or to support the abolition of slavery, as it has been and still is used. This letter is something different. And Paul uses manipulation to achieve what it wants. Paul wanted Onesimus back as a helper. That's a good thing. I also said that Paul wanted to receive an offering for the cause. His language about, I say nothing about your owing me even your own self, and then this other bit. It was at the end of the letter, and we didn't read it today, but I wanted to bring it up. He said, one thing more. Prepare a guest room for me, for I am hoping through your prayers to be restored to you. And that's kind of a coded message from Paul saying that he was coming soon. When he came to town, he was going to take a collection. So Philemon should be ready for that. It's okay, though, right? I mean, it's okay to expect that. So Paul was, I think, really manipulative in this letter, and it irks me. But can I find some good in the letter? A message for us to go out from here with? Yes. If you're going to be an advocate, first, manipulation is not the method to use. Second, if you're going to be an advocate, listening to the people you advocate for is the most important thing to do. Anytime you're involved in any kind of advocacy, remember this phrase. I didn't make it up. It's been said for a long time, and sometimes we forget it. Nothing about us without us. Be sure that the advocacy that you're doing is rooted in the needs defined by those in the group you're working for of those whom you're advocating. See, at Peace Memorial Church, we can continue to be advocates, and we can continue to be a vibrant, inclusive Christian community living out love, respect, and dignity for everyone. That's the vision statement for Peace Memorial Church. If you look on the front of your bulletin, do I have a bulletin here? I don't. On the front of your bulletin, there's the one body picture. That's pretty cool. Peace Memorial Church, a vibrant, inclusive Christian community living out love, respect, and dignity for everyone. If you turn the page, in the welcome to worship at Peace Memorial Church, United Church of Christ, we are a vibrant, inclusive Christian community living out love, respect, and dignity for everyone. Twice in there. It's on our website. It's on the Friday email. Hear it a lot. We've said it a lot over the last 2 years, and I want to break it down a little bit, why each word or each phrase is in there. We're vibrant. That means that we're energized and enthusiastic. But there's a question that comes with that. Is vibrant aspirational or is it realistic? I suppose it depends on the week. It depends on your mood. Maybe it's some of both. But then inclusive. Jesus didn't turn people away, neither do we. We're an open and affirming congregation. That means that we welcome and affirm people of every gender, sexual orientation, gender identity and expression, ability, age, race, nationality, economic and social status, faith background, religious training, marital standing, and family structure. We're Christian. And while we engage with all in ecumenical and interfaith ways, we are unapologetically Christian, and we seek to follow Jesus. Does that mean we have a litmus test that you have to have this set of beliefs in order to be here or be part of the ministries of peace? No. It just means that we are a Christian congregation, a community. Congregation, church, that's community. So those words indicate community where all are loved and all are attended to. And attending to is different than welcomed. Attending to is a side-by-side where we attend to one another. Not because one is better than the other, it's just we attend to one another. We work for the common good. We're also part of the larger church community. And then there's the phrase living out love. Jesus left one final commandment with the disciples, and by extension then to all. He said, love one another as I have loved you. We seek to live out God's unconditional and eternal love for everyone. And it says, living out respect. There's a phrase attributed to St. Augustine, or maybe to John Wesley, and no one knows for sure, but here's the phrase. In essentials, unity. In non-essentials, liberty. In all things, charity. Whoever said it first, it's still profound. We may not always agree on everything, but we seek always to treat one another with respect, regardless. And then living out dignity, similar. As Jesus cares and loves all, cares for and loves all, so do we. We seek to treat all people as we would like to be treated. We learned the golden rule when we were kids. And it really doesn't matter what faith background you came from or no faith background. Virtually every religion, and then every non-religion, people who don't have a belief structure, a faith structure like that at all, have some concept of treat others the way you want to be treated. No one is more or less important than any other. And then the last word in there, for everyone. We hold that God's love and God's grace are unconditional and eternal, and they are for everyone. If they're not, then we got to get a different word. But we're using this word because these are the words. God's love and grace are unconditional and eternal, no matter who you are or where you are on life's journey. You're welcome here. So as we continue to be the church, it is vitally important to stay away from manipulation and to advocate for and with the outcast, the marginalized, the forgotten. Let's continue to be the church. It is our history. It is our now. It is our identity. Amen.